Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match reaction. Manchester City 3, Everton 0. Comfortable win for the home side. Men against boys, I think, is the best way of putting it after the game. Everton just didn't really lay a glove on them, and it was a comfortable win. The manager went with the same side that started against Spurs. Obviously, no players available, no injured players available for him to make any changes there. And Everton started the game all right, on the front foot for the opening 50 seconds. Anthony Gordon had the shot blocked. And then after that, it was a case of everyone behind the ball. Listen, there's nothing... Everton didn't do anything today that I didn't expect them to do, which is, sit back, try to play on the break, hope that they got an opportunity. And with Graham, Richarlison and Townsend, try to break on them quickly. But that was thrown in the bin after 15 minutes. We lost Amari Gray. The season curse continues, no matter how bad we've been, and things we could have done differently. The curse of injuries has just ravaged us again this year. Absolutely, totally and utterly ravaged us. It's quite unbelievable, really, how many injuries we get, and it's never spoken about. It was funny because the feed I was watching on the Zone, they said Man City have just got to make do with what they've got today. And I nearly spat my tea out. It was like, injuries have hit them. And I'm thinking, we haven't got anywhere near the level of player they've got. And our best players are out. The spine of the team is out. And you're saying Man City have got to make do. It was quite incredible, really. But that's the way it is. You know what? Overall, I mean, listen, Man City, I don't think got out of first gear, really. I think at times they knocked it round nicely and cut us open with some passing, but they didn't. It wasn't a brilliant performance by them. It didn't have to be, is the reality. Everton have spent 500 million or close to it in the last 5 years. Shouldn't really be in a position where we go to these teams and we have to play like a team in the bottom 5 or 6, hanging on for dear life. But that's the way it is. I've just talked about having our best players out. The squad just isn't good enough to cope. The level of player isn't good enough. What the recruitment team get paid for is beyond me, because I have no idea when you look at that squad. Said it before, when Everton can field their best 11, they can give a lot of teams a game and can do all right in this league, because it's not a very good league, let's be perfectly honest about it. But when Everton have got a few injuries, you look at the players who are coming in and the squad players, you do have to question what the recruitment team does at Everton. You really do. And it's been shambolic, and it is shambolic, and there's a lot of things when you look at the club that just aren't right. We've been through a raft of managers. Some of these players have been through all of them, and they're still there. People are still at the football club that probably shouldn't really be there if a club hasn't improved in that period of time, and it hasn't. So there's a lot wrong with Everton, and today just showed the gulf in class between the two sides. City, imagine City didn't have to bring Gabriel Jesus on. They didn't have Kevin De Bruyne. They didn't have Jack Grealish. They could have been playing. It would have been an even more difficult task. But City went about the job. Everton hung in there, in the first half. Looked like they might just get through to half-time. Survived the penalty scare, which was never a penalty. Raheem Sterling, I actually like Sterling, but I don't understand why he threw himself on the floor. And, Alan Shearer at half-time said he should have been booked for diving. I don't know whether I go that far, but you can understand that kind of train of thought. But the referee went and had a look at it, and Chris Kavanagh, who ironically didn't give us the stonewall penalty we should have had against Spurs, decided this wasn't, and it wasn't given. But City scored a goal just before half-time. It was an absolutely brilliant goal. Tremendous ball by Cancelo at the outside of his foot, and a great finish from Sterling. And could we defended it better? Possibly, but it was a brilliant goal. You go in 1-0 down, and then Everton have got to come out and try and nick a goal, and we hadn't looked threatening at all afternoon, really. It came out, a couple of bright little things at the start of the second half, Iwobi involved. But nothing really where you thought we'd get right back into the game. And City controlled it, and then An awful bit of play from Fabian Delph, really, for me, for the second goal. Michael Keane cuts a cross out. Allen should put his foot through it and doesn't, just flicks it to the edge of the box. And Delph almost pulls out of the challenge. And Rhodri hits through. Once Rhodri hits it, it's an absolutely brilliant goal. It's a tremendous strike. Keeper got no chance, top corner. But Delph's got to go in and win that. He's got to go in and put the challenge in on Rhodri, and he doesn't. He half-heartedly goes out to it, and Rhodri smashes it in. We've seen him do that before. He's got a tremendous strike on him. And that put City 2-0 up. It was over. Listen, at 1-0 it looked like it was probably over. Certainly at 2-0 there was no way back for Everton. Salomon Rondon come on. The game carried on, and we got through to 3-4 minutes left from the end, and a shot from Palmer, massive deflection, fortuitous goal. Bernardo Silva tucked it in for 3-0, and that was it. It was done. The one thing I'd say is the players did try to, I guess, stick to the game plan. They're just not good enough. And when they got on the ball, they weren't brave enough. None of them. Well, Townsend, I thought, ran his socks off all day. But there was a lot of very average and bad performances in that Everton side today. And that, I can't complain. I can't say anything about it. It was nothing I didn't expect. City are a fantastic side. They keep the ball. They cut you open. They're a great team. If you stand off them and wait for them to score, it'll happen. And that's what we did. But like I said before, we've spent enough money to have a squad capable of going there and having a go, and we haven't. So that tells you people need to take a closer look at who's actually buying these players and why the recruitment team's still there when they've done such a bad job. But we were comfortably beaten. Man of the match, I'm going to give it to Andros Townsend. Thought he tried all day long, worked hard all day long. And for that reason, he's getting man of the match. Yeah, no complaints. I don't know what to say. It was men against boys. It's depressing watching them games because you know that the players we've got, there was nothing really to bring on. He couldn't lay a glove on them. It's soul destroying sometimes watching that kind of game. But like I say, it is what it is, and it gets more difficult now. Richarlison, 5th booking of the season, somehow he's basically been booked in every game he's played or something. So he misses Brentford. No, probably not going to have the Mari Gray for Brentford. If it's his groin, it could be 3 weeks. So, yeah, quite a depressing day. There you go, Man City 3, Everton 0. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. See you later.